first aluminum recycling program in America started here 8 years ago at the Reynolds Metals Company, Richmond, Virginia. To find out why, let's talk to two men with an important stake in this recycling effort. One, David P. Reynolds, Executive Vice President and General Manager. And the other, his very special guest.
This is your store. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, it is.
Are you no Sunday selling, David? I like this. You know, I was working in your office before, and I went to use the phone, as you know. And I was walking by, coming around from the use of the phone, and I thought to myself, I am really dumb. And I'm sure that there are many out there that are, not, I wouldn't call dumb, but equally as unaware of how much is involved with the product aluminum. I never knew there were so many things made of aluminum. You know, after a golf shaft, I stopped. How many elements are there?
Thousands and thousands of items. But the ones that we're concerned with mainly here today are things that are used in the homes, most everyone, like pie pans, Sara Lee cake pan, TV dinner tray. And believe it or not, since 1960, we have made many billions of these containers for soft drinks and beer.
David, you are the pioneers in recycling, are you not?
Well, the can made recycling possible because it has such tremendous volume. Almost over a billion pounds of aluminum went into containers this year. And
what's paid for the return of the, what we would call the used can?
That's where the recycling comes in. We started in 1968. But you must first have volume to make recycling pay. And when we got into the containers, that made it a viable economic condition. And that in turn has helped the whole solid waste problem. We found that there was a litter problem in the United States.
Yeah.
And there were many attempts to solve this thing, and we found that when we got into recycling, and paid money on the line for people that cared and brought this material in. We started out at 10 cents a pound. Last year we raised it 50% to 15 cents a pound.
Well, what you're doing in actual fact is you're reducing waste and you're saving the natural resources.
That's right. We're this year going at the rate of better than 30% of all the cans we make are being recycled through our consumer recycling centers.
This is the Reynolds Recycling Plant in Williamsburg, Virginia, one of many across the country. It has the capacity to process 4,000 pounds of aluminum scrap for 90,000 cans each hour. At the present 15 cents a pound rate, this one plant represents an hourly potential of $600 cash paid to the public for cans, foil, dinner trays, and other aluminum scrap. And this year, Reynolds is asking people not to take cash for scrap aluminum, but to instead request a check made out to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Cans donated to MD all across the country will come to Reynolds plants to be magnetically separated, weighed, paid for, shredded, and finally shipped out to make new cans we can recycle for muscular dystrophy all over again. The potential is almost unlimited.
It turns out to be a very positive thing because cans, for instance, are recycled in 6 weeks' time. The discarded cans are brought back, melted, rolled into new cans, and each time you do that, you save 95% of the energy it took to make that can originally. And we think with the combination of solid waste recovery and our consumer recycling setup that we're putting into effect and are going to be using for a very wonderful cause I know that's near and dear to your heart, and it is to ours too, is to help you with your muscular dystrophy Labor Day telethon. And there's no question you've got one of the great organizations in the world, and we think that our little contribution will be a help, and we certainly hope so.
I know it will, David. This is probably the first time in my career I've ever had my back to a camera this long, and I'm starting to get shingles. So if you would just trade places with me.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, that's my high out there. That sure is better. Ben, they will give me an opportunity to tell you a couple of things that I think are terribly important.
As I mentioned earlier, the Reynolds Aluminum Company believes they've done some good stuff, and they've taken out some good things by being a prosperous, important company in our world. They must have sat down and said, well, let's put something back. I think it's marvelous. It really is. Like looking at the plant this morning, I was not only impressed, but somewhat ashamed again, because I wasn't aware of how much went into just the recycling process. I mean, watching the children come in with those cans to get their 15 cents a pound, and to see the way the 6, 7, 8 steps of the recycling process, right down to the shipping, to the melting, and then knowing that we're going to get that back again. And then you think in terms of the energy, the resources, all of those positive factors that come from this work is super, it really is. And I like the little window at the plant, and then when I saw the checks, that to me, well, I have a hunch that you're not fooling, David, because since it's printed, that's nice to know that people can bring the cans and do that little number with the interchange of money, but that the check is already made out to the Order of Muscular Dystrophy, and they can write a check that's already prepared for them. And that's a very, very expedient way of doing things, and a lot of people will deal with us that way.
Collecting cans for muscular dystrophy is something we all can do. By organizing pickup details to clean up litter, by conducting carnivals or other events with aluminum cans as the admission charge, or by simply asking friends and neighbors to save cans for you. The important thing is that we all start helping Jerry now.
When we are with a major company, when I can present to my kids the kind of credibility I bring them when I say, the Reynolds Aluminum Company wants to make things better for you, they are very proud. Even though a lot of them know they're not going to be here very long, they are very proud kids, and they're unlike any other handicapped kids you'll ever know. Not that they're better, but they seem to derive so much hope that a company of your stature would take the time to care. Moreover, it gives them the kind of hope that I think they say to themselves, well, maybe we can be okay, because if they're joining us now at this time in our lives, maybe they know something. And it's not that they'll ever ask me, but I feel that. So thank you for the hospitality, for your efforts, and for your understanding and your sensitivity. I am most grateful, and I know I'm speaking for 135,000 kids who would love to hug you. Thank you, David.
Well, thank you. We're glad to be part of the team, and I know you're going to go over the top.
I hope so.
Come Labor Day.
Thank you.